It's Tuesday, 30th of June, 2015, and you're listening to The Dropcast. I'm Carl Shimon, joined by the sleepy Matthew Kershaw, and we're going to teach you how to get low this week.
I certainly hope that this comes out on Tuesday the 30th now, or you're going to look like an idiot.
I'm not, because you edit and publish the podcast, so somebody will know that you missed your deadline.
Fair point.
This is me laying down the law right here. Video games.
Yes, video games.
They are still a thing, strangely. They haven't been nuked into oblivion yet.
What video games have you been playing?
None. I've been playing quite a bit. I was wondering if you had anything first, because I've got like a torrent of shit we've been playing.
Been playing some Halo Master Chief Collection.
That's always a hellish experience. How was it?
I had fun with it.
Are you still playing Halo 3? Multiplayer?
I've been playing a whole bunch of shit. Mainly Halo 3 and Halo 4, because who wants to play Halo 2 or 1?
Well, I'm glad you invited me to play with you. That's always nice to be aware of it.
This was like the same. This was like after we recorded ODST.
Alright, yeah.
But
I was busy getting preened at that point.
Yeah, probably. Oh yeah, you were getting a haircut, weren't you?
Yep. We were playing ODST, which is a thing you can watch on the website. The first episode is up. The second will be up very soon.
Yep. Other than that, I played Massive Chalice finally.
It's pretty cool. It's weird, but it's pretty cool. Tell me about it.
I don't think that it tells you what's happening enough. Like, the game started, and my first, 5 heroes, I guess, I had 1 alchemist, 2 hunters, which are ranged guys,
Crossbows,
and then 2 caberjacks, which are melee.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it seems like I always had to bring the 2 hunters on every mission, because you need a lot of range, especially when you start finding the suicide bombing enemies.
Have you got to the fucking, the ones that harden their armor after the first hit?
Yes, I got up to that. But
fucking wankers.
Because
really
I only started the game off with 2 hunters and had to bring them on every mission, I ran out of hunters, and they just kind of you know how you marry them and they end up having children, they're a certain class.
Yeah. But when they're married, they can't fight.
Went and produced caberjacks. So I only had melee people by the time all my hunters had died of old age.
Yeah, but you got to get those hunters fucking. But if you do the search for heroes, I think it gives you 6 level 1 heroes, so that's a pretty good way of
I'll have to do
replenishing
that.
your ranks.
It's I couldn't take my hunters out of the missions because you need the range that they have because they're really good. But then I also couldn't put them in keeps and make them fuck to have children because then you're taking them out of the missions.
Yeah, it is a gamble. That's what I like that though. That and the relic system is what I really enjoyed, but I just can't bring myself to finish it.
Yeah, I don't feel like you make much progress in it either. It's
all holding out.
Yeah,
I think it's 300 years.
I played about 7 or 8 fights worth because they happen over 50 to 100 year durations.
Yeah.
And I didn't feel like I was making any sort of progress in the game.
No, it is very slow. The research is super slow as well, and it can take 4 years to get a castle.
Yeah.
But, I guess, you have to hold out, don't you? Because aren't you recharging the chalice or something?
And I don't know, that game has no fucking story.
What did you think of the narrators, the chalice, the 2 sides of it talking? I quite like them. Yeah, they're good. But it's a good game for gold, isn't it? It's probably one of the better ones that have been on that service. Have you seen next month, we are getting Gears 3 on Games for Gold?
Yes, I saw that. That's kind of cool.
I wonder, or I hope, that it will be on the backwards compatibility thing for the preview people. I'm assuming it's not already.
It's not right now. I'm sure it will be when they come out of beta and release sometime this fall.
Yeah, I was going to say if it was, then we should totally play it and do something with it, because it is the best Gears of War.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to playing that, actually.
It is really good.
Now I may actually go and pick up the 360 Games for Gold titles, because now I can play them on my Xbox One, which has a much, much bigger hard drive.
Yeah. But then you have to use the shitty Xbox One controller, so Zero
I like
sum.
the Xbox One controller. I know you don't.
It's because you're fanboy. They could put out shit in a box and you would like it.
No, I could definitely have complaints about it, like the bumpers are shit. But I don't break every controller I'm given like you, so I don't hate it.
The worst you can say about my PS4 is one of the thumbsticks of my original controller has been worn down. But they still function without like popping their batteries out or anything.
Yeah, I just don't like the feel of... I know I haven't used the DualShock 4 for an extended period of time, but I never liked the DualShock 3, how it felt. It always felt weird in my hands, and I don't like the thumbsticks.
The DualShock 3 felt like it fell out the 90s in a weird way. It's like super light plastic and too small, like triggers that were massive sponges. It was horrible.
I know the DualShock 4 is considerably better. I just haven't used it for an extended period of time to see and kind of weigh up which one I like more. Yeah. But I've heard that the Xbone Elite controllers are being called like the best controller ever made.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about it.
Considering it's the same design, but it's a much nicer feel. Like it's made out of stronger stuff.
Good, because that's the problem I'm having. If I can break in half, like the two sides of it for me just keep creaking in, and that's when it breaks. Whatever turns the controller off.
How hard do you grasp your controller?
I have a firm grasp. You know, my grip is firm. My lips are tight. So, have you been playing anything else?
That's about it. I was playing New Vegas for the longest time, but now since Fallout 4 has been announced, I can't go back to that game because it's not Fallout 4.
Yeah, but I think Fallout 4 is going to be closer to that game than you're thinking. Just get used to the VATS now.
I guess, but it's like, I want to play Fallout 4, I don't want to go back and play New Vegas, but I want to finish that game at some point.
You should finish the DLC, especially that Science Mountain one. I can't remember what it's called.
I started the... I think it's the Honest Hearts DLC, maybe? It's when you go to that weird place that's like... there's that guy in bandages and he plays around with pistols.
I have only played the robot one for that game, I think.
Oh, well, I played that, and there's no going back to the main, like, New Vegas until you beat that DLC.
Well, gotta get no clip on and just walk to the ending. You can probably do it. Walk back to New Vegas by clipping through the load screens.
I'll just use console commands, it's easier.
Well, I wish you had a PS4, because PlanetSide 2 had a sneak announcement during the middle of E3, I think. Came out on the 23rd of June. I didn't hear anything about it coming out, but I found it on the store the other day. So I've been playing some of that. It's just as janky on the PS4 as it is on the PC, only now you can play it with a controller. And the UI is less shit. So I wish you had a PS4 to play that game with. Or I wish they brought it out on the Xbox One. I think they said.
Isn't it just a timed exclusive for the PS4?
Yeah, it's because, it was a Sony game, and then they sold that company. And I'm pretty sure they said it's coming out on the Xbox One later. But bear in mind, it took them 2 years to get the PC version to the PS4, so I wouldn't be holding your breath for anything super soon. But that game is fun. You would really like it, because it's kind of it's got that Battlefield thing about it, where it's just chaos constantly, only it's 4 times as many people. And there's huge-ass bases and gravel lifts, and it's really cool.
I've seen quite a bit of it. It looks really awesome.
It is fucking great, but weirdly, I found the aim super sensitive, so I had to actually turn it down, which is odd. I normally turn games up, but yeah, it's just as janky on the PS4, but it runs really nice. At least I think it does. It's definitely one of those Sony online games, you can tell, because they're all slightly fucked in their own way. That's the thing with that company, is they make really shitty quality games that have really neat things about them. And all their games have been the same. DC Universe was exactly the same. It's
what's the neat thing about this, other than it's 256 people fighting on one map?
That's the thing, and it's plays well. It's not like a shit shooter either. It's just slightly janky. Sometimes people seem to spawn out of walls. I fell through the floor twice in about the 4 hours I played of it. So, yeah. Also, you think the Batman fucking tank is bad? I've heard a lot of shit talked about the Batmobile. in the new Arkham Knight game, but you have to try fucking piloting a mongoose or whatever they're called in PlanetSide, because holy shit, I don't know how it works. I was pushing the stick forwards and it's just gliding into rocks. It's like skating on ice. It's the only vehicle I've unlocked. I think I have like one of the APCs as well, but I didn't want to waste them because you spawn at them. But yeah, PlanetSide 2, it's cool. It's still kind of a bad game, but it's pretty cool. I also played...
I remember when...
Go on.
I was going to say, I remember when you were playing it on the PC with friends, and I was like, fuck, I wish I could play it because it sounds awesome.
I think you would really enjoy it. Like, legitimately, it seems like your kind of multiplayer experience. Well, yeah. I mean, you like multiplayer shooters anyway, but this seems like it would catch your Battlefield feeling. And it's not shitty like Hardline. Even though Hardline is like Game of the Year. But anyway. Her Story. It's an FMV game. FMV detective game. You watch video clips. Right, you've got like a police database. It's on a CRT. It looks great. It's got like glare and stuff on the screen. You can see people's reflections. And you're typing in this database search terms. And you're watching clips of this woman's interview from like 10 years ago. And it's fucking really cool. It's FMV. And the actress is... she's really cool. I don't know if you've seen any of this. Have you read my review on it or anything?
No, not yet. I know you published it. I need to go and read it now.
Yeah, it's only a short review because it's a pretty short game. I spent about 3.5 hours with it. I didn't get everything. I got stuck. Like I think I figured it out, but you weren't like you've got to like generate these search terms yourself. So like you're given the one murder at the beginning, and there's 4 clips. So you watch the 4 clips, and you're like, well, there's somebody called Simon, and he's dead or missing or whatever. But clearly dead because they told you it was murder. So then, like, you're just going down these different paths, and you can basically type in anything, and if she said it in an interview, it'll go to that clip. So you can, like, just fuck the story up in cool ways, and then you put it together in whichever order you want. It's really cool. Have you seen any backlash on this game? Because every time I read someone's comments, it's always how it's apparently an SJW game, and all the game sites are just giving it good reviews because it's an SJW game with no gameplay. And it's like, this woman murdered her husband, like... There's nothing, like, political about this in any way. It's just got a woman on it.
I don't know what it is.
It's fucking insane is what it is. It's like, this is a game people have never heard of with a woman on the cover, so it's clearly an SJW game, and anyone who likes it is a feminist trying to push their agenda.
Yeah,
it's good to read.
Really dumb.
Yeah, yep. But super cool game. Yeah, it just kind of really captures you in a way. I mean, there's some things I don't like about it mechanically, but there's not that many mechanics, so it's all right. And The Last Roman, which is the Total War Attila expansion. There was nothing coming out this week, and like I didn't even know Her Story existed until it appeared on Steam. So The Last Roman, I was kind of holding out hope for it for like 2 weeks. I've played nothing, and it's all right. You know, it's £8 expansion, I don't know, $15 or something, and it's basically late Roman Empire. You're playing as Belisarius. You've been tasked with recapturing the Western Roman Empire, which fell obviously to the barbarians, and it's kind of like you're playing as a horde faction, but you're Roman, and you're reclaiming things for the empire, and then giving your reclaimed land back to the actual empire, and then you can like declare independence. But it's all like story driven with like missions from your wife. And your wife will be like, go get me some gems from the city. So then you totally have to do a raid on this city. But it gets kind of weird, and it does some of the political stuff where it's like, your daughter's being basically raped by someone in the capital, and like, you're going to assassinate him, even though he's the nephew of the emperor. It's like, it's what you want, but there's not much effort. You get like 4 hours in, and all the story shit dries up, and it's kind of shitty. So I'm going to write some of my thoughts up on that and get that on the site. It won't be a review, because I'm not going to score it, being a DLC. But, it's interesting. It's probably not worth the money. The new units are like the old units, and there's not very many of them. And the new factions are like, but it's cool. If you know you need that edge of Roman politics and more Total War Attila, which is completely different because the Romans have always been defensive in that game because you're just getting swarmed by barbarians. And like, I still have my original playthrough of that game. I used to review it, and I played it for some of it the other day, and I'm still just getting pelted by barbarians and losing land. And I played like, I don't know, 200 and something turns in that. And then to go from that into this way more offensive, like just attack. It's weird. Pretty cool. That's all I have been playing with the video games. Do you want to hit some news?
Yes, let's hit some news. Do you want to keep this strictly video games?
No, you hit me with your non-video game news.
Well, I was just going to mention how the... I can't remember the abbreviation for this thing now. Is it like SOTUS? SOTOS?
Pardon?
The gay marriage thing in America.
I have no idea. I don't know what this abbreviation is.
But either way, yeah, gay marriage is now illegal across all 50 states, which is pretty cool.
It was super cool. I noticed a lot of people on my timeline started, like, a lot of Americans started changing their Twitter profile to have, like, the rainbow over them.
Yeah.
Which I was almost doing the same thing, and then I realized I'm not American. I could probably get married in this country to a dude if I wanted to.
The Isle of Man does not have gay marriage.
Well, Ireland does, and that's just across the Irish Sea, so it's fine, isn't it?
Yeah.
Also, I don't want to get married in a church, ever.
Yeah, that's the thing, like, there's been a lot of stuff, like, when this announced, there was lots of, I want to say dumb Americans, and I don't mean every American, I just mean dumb Americans assume that now gay marriage is legal worldwide, because, USA equals the entire Earth. So there's lots of people thinking that it's now legal everywhere, and it's like, no, it's not.
Well, Obama is the leader of the free world. Of course, which apparently is the entire world. Mine is North Korea. They hate the gays there.
But there's been a lot of, like, confusion. You mentioned churches there. It's like, people assume that, if you are gay or a lesbian or whatever, you can now go to a church and get married, but the pastor can still refuse based on, their religious belief. You can't force them to marry you, but instead you could go to court and get married there instead, or find a different pastor.
Did that dude set himself on fire yet?
No, he backed out. That's what I wanted to talk about.
Of course he did. He's got no fucking condition.
Some dumb homophobic Texan pastor was like, yeah, I'm going to set myself on fire to protest gay marriage. It gets announced and he's like, I didn't really mean it, guys.
I know, the Buddhists will set themselves on fire in the middle of a village square any day of the week. But the moment a Christian pastor has to do it, it's an entirely different thing. No one should set themselves on fire, let's be clear. That dude might be a bad person, but he probably shouldn't set himself on fire.
Yeah, I think it's dumb that a religion should dictate who you love or who you want to marry. So I'm glad that they've done this now.
Yeah, I think it's great. I can see why churches might be against it, because the Holy Book is all that church has, so it's like, I get that, but I think Americans always take things too far, and as, like, the homophobic, violent people in the South demonstrate every time this conversation happens.
It's like there's states like Ohio that just lost their shit over this and just went crazy.
Like, I would be okay with, like, I'm not getting married, but if I was, I'd be alright with the church, like, refusing me, I think, because it's like, whatever, their book says it should be a man and a woman. I totally get that.
Does it, though? Because there's there's
I'm pretty sure.
Gay Christian people that say that it doesn't say that you can't be gay.
I personally have not studied the Bible recently.
Yeah, neither have I. So, like, when people say, "Oh, it's against the Bible," I'm like, "Is it really though?"
I don't know, but I'm also not Christian, so it makes no difference. I wouldn't get married in a cathedral if it was my choice. But I could see why people would want to, especially if it's their religion and they also happen to be gay.
Yeah,
but yeah, it's great news.
Yeah, this is amazing news.
It is. Maybe the Isle of Man will catch up with them one day. Do we even have, like, a religious body or a government body for that kind of shit?
I don't know, but I remember seeing something by 3FM's Facebook page about whoever's in charge of the island saying that he wants to legalize gay marriage, just a few weeks ago.
I love that. We don't know who's in charge of the island
the Queen,
that we live
obviously.
On. I always have done.
Yep.
I don't trust 3FM. I'm with Energy FM. That's where they got the hottest hits from the 90s. So there you go.
Video game news. Terraria's 1.3 update will come out on the 30th.
Did that add mounts? Did I hear that?
It basically doubles the in-game content.
Do you have Terraria on the PC?
Yes.
So do I. We should do something with it.
We should. That game's fucking extremely fun. I have almost 300 hours in it.
I didn't know I had it, but I do. We should play that game.
It's very hard to... There's no there's no just simple local multiplayer. You have to have a server to play multiplayer.
How expensive is that?
I don't know. You can use like Himachi.
So right, we'll bring this to Kickstarter. We'll get people to kickstart our Terraria Let's Play. That's how the kids do it nowadays. But before we move off the gay marriage, there's totally going to be gay marriage in Fire Emblem. So that's hot too.
Oh yeah, I saw that. That's
I can't wait.
Cool.
But I think it's like one edition. It's multiple editions of the games. One edition of the game, you have the option to marry a man with a man. Other edition, you have an option to marry a woman with a woman. So I guess if you want the full open experience, you have to buy both editions of the games.
That is so dumb. Like, why are they trying to Pokemon-ize Fire Emblem?
Well, it's
you
this
gotta
way in
marry
Japan.
them all.
It's basic. It's this way in Japan already. The game's out over there, which also you can totally strip and poke your friends as if they're Pokemon as well, which I thought you'd enjoy.
That's amazing.
But I think some of the characters are your siblings, so it's super weird.
Really? Oh.
But whatever, you can totally marry them too. It's fine. So that's excellent news. But yeah, it is getting 2 releases in the US and Europe as well, which is disappointing.
I saw a really weird game from Japan recently for the 3DS.
Oh, go on.
It's called like Love Plus or like New Love Plus. I don't know, but it's essentially a waifu anime dating sim on the 3DS.
Is it out right now?
Yes, it's already out. I'm looking at the Amazon page. You can buy the new Love Plus Manaka Deluxe Complete Set with a 3DS Japanese import for $204.
Is it in Europe? Do you know?
I don't know. I think it's only in Japanese. But it's essentially just an entire game dedicated to waifu dating sim.
Well, don't import that because 3DS is region locked.
Yeah, it has like real time, so you have to like get to know your waifu in the game, and then you have to set up dates in real time.
Is it dates though, or is it stalking? Is it like the whole game is you've got to learn this person's routine when they leave their spare key and stuff?
I don't know. It's like, from what I've heard, you have to actually like set up dates, and you have to be there. Like, if you set up a date for next Tuesday at 8 p.m., you have to be there next Tuesday at 8 p.m. and play the game to go on the date. Otherwise, she'll get angry at you. And,
so it's like sexy Animal Crossing then?
No, you can actually like do stuff and make her dump you and stuff. It's like there's a super hardcore fan base following this game.
But yeah, I imagine. I imagine you're part of it as well. Are you going to buy this Japanese 3DS yet?
Well, I do need a new 3DS. I'm just saying.
You might as well get a Japanese one. That'll let you play one game.
Yeah. I only need that one game for the rest of my life.
I'm sorry, I may have jumped ahead of your other news there before. The Terraria news.
I was just saying, you know, they're adding this update for free. It's like the third, or one of the... There was the 1.1 update, 1.2, and then now 1.3. And each time it's like doubled the game content.
Yeah.
Which is amazing.
Yeah, that is... I thought they'd stopped putting that game and moved on to Starbound.
They did, and then they came back when it started to get released on consoles.
Smart.
But yeah, the developers are great the way they've just supported this game and they've never charged for DLC for this game.
Is it better or worse than Minecraft?
I have many hundreds of hours in Minecraft. There's no actual way to tell how long I've played Minecraft for. I've played it on and off for like 4 or 5 years now.
Yeah.
I can go back and play Minecraft whenever I want because it's just something that I can do. Like, I was playing Minecraft the other day even.
Is it the kind of game you have pinned to your taskbar? Because I have one game pinned to my taskbar, which I think does the same thing for me.
No, I don't have any games pinned to my taskbar. It's just like, I can go and play many hours of Minecraft whenever I want, but Terraria is kind of different. I kind of go through phases of playing it.
Right.
But I think Terraria is a better game in terms, when you play with friends, it has a lot more content, it's a lot more polished, it's a lot more fun even.
Yeah. It's got like quests and stuff, hasn't it?
Kind of. They're very basic quests. It's like, oh, you find a fisherman NPC, and every day he'll ask you to fish for this certain fish, and then he'll give you rewards for it, and stuff like that.
Like Animal Crossing.
Oh, I want to play Animal Crossing, stop bringing it up.
You have to face it sometime.
I'm so bummed out. I really want to play Animal Crossing again.
Speaking of 3DS games, Shingeki no Kyojin Humanity in Chains is finally got a European release date. It's coming out next Thursday. This Thursday, in 2 days' time, in fact.
Awesome. Have you read the latest Shingeki no Kyojin manga chapter?
No. I read up to the part where there was a open body climbing a wall, which isn't a spoiler because that happens in almost every other chapter of that fucking thing.
I'm up to a part where they escaped a place and looked at a titan.
Escaped
I'm like
a place.
4 chapters behind now.
Ah, right. Okay, I'm past that then. Yes.
Yeah, you're forgetting you didn't read it for like 3 months, and I had to put up with just boring shit happening, and I was like, yeah, don't read this, don't read this, don't read this.
Yeah, I might be 1 chapter behind then. That shit got exciting towards the end of those. You should read up on the other chapters. It gets really good.
Again. I should. I kind of want to get back into that. I kind of want to watch the anime again.
Yeah, I've had the 3DS upcoming games tab open on my Chrome on my phone. So every time I open Chrome, it's either that or like Reddit porn, and so every day I get reminded about Attack on Titan in some form or another. And yeah, you're right. We need to get back into that shit.
I love the soundtrack for that anime. Like, I still, if I play Titanfall, I still boot up the Attack on Titan soundtrack and listen to that as I play, because it's just so amazing.
I know the main theme was really good, but I can't pick out other key bits of music, to be honest.
Wofür das Essen nein Visier der Jäger.
I was going to say that's German, but I guess the whole thing is slightly European.
That's the intro to the opening song. It's
look,
like, are we the...
There's pointy faces on screen. Where do you think my attention is?
I don't remember much of my German. I think that means, like, are we the hunters? No, we're the hunters, or something like that.
For dein Führer. That's all I remember.
Wow. I mean,
I've heard that a lot from the South Americans recently, or North Americans.
Anyway, what do you think that, the people below the king are doing? The king is basically the Führer in Attack on Titan.
But, like, the Führer had charisma. The king in Attack on Titan just has, like, piles, because he just leans on that throne all day.
Well, what about, like, Rod Reese? He's kind of Führer-esque.
Yes, you're right. See, you knew he couldn't stay like he was in the series for long, because he looked so plain, you know? He looked like a background character.
Yeah, but you didn't expect what to happen.
No.
Like, you did not expect him to do this.
No.
He's so fucked up.
That's why I love Attack on Titan, is they go too far all the time.
Oh,
and
God,
for a while it was kind of boring.
Who kidnapped that other guy and, like, forced him to eat shit.
Oh, yeah, suspended from his ankles, eating his own shit, yes. Yep. Yes, I do remember that. It was very graphic.
That guy's very Führer-esque as well.
Or even, like, the side stories, like that, I can't remember what it's called, but the one where the woman's pregnant and eaten by a titan, and then her son is born from the stomach of a dead titan.
Oh, I remember that. I read that manga, yeah.
It's like, I've got the first 3 issues of that, and I think there's like 5 total, so I need to catch up. Have you read the No Regrets, the 2 books? I think it's 8 chapters.
Is that the one focused on Levi?
Yes.
I don't
really
like
good.
Levi.
No, but there's other new characters. You should read that. It's not a lot, but it is really good. I
guess if it follows the Survey Corp, is Waifu Petra in there?
Yes.
Right,
it's how he joins them, basically, in his first mission.
Wasn't he like a little street urchin piece of shit, and then the captain like took him under his wing?
Yeah, he was in like Street Gang with these other 2 characters who are really good. You should read that. I think that one's better than the other. I can't remember what they're called, which is really bad. The one they said beforehand. No Regrets is definitely the better one. Yes, Before the Fall.
Yeah. I want to get back into Attack on Titan soon.
Yep, we will. I will. This Thursday. I keep saying next Thursday. 2 days' time, we'll be hot on Attack on Titan. I don't have any way of capturing 3DS footage, so I guess it's going to be like shaky cam stuff off my phone, I think. I don't know.
Amazing.
It could be... I don't know. Can you take screenshots of both screens on the 3DS?
You can take screenshots of one screen using, like, 3 button presses.
Oh, fuck. Yeah. I don't know how we're going to do that, but if you see the stock press assets on the review, that'll be why. Because I haven't figured out a way of getting the images off.
Just take screenshots and post them to the Miiverse, and then take them from the Miiverse on your computer into the review.
No. I'm not going to do that. I'll just use the stock ones.
You
half the time.
draw smutty Levi X Aaron porn on the Miiverse.
I will draw an interpretive drawing of me playing the game, one hand below the desk, the other hand on the stylus. How about that? How about that? The focus will not be the screen of the 3DS, but you'll get the... I can't wait. I can't fucking wait. It's going to be a shit game. I know it is, but I'll probably love it, you know?
Yep.
News.
Any other news?
I've got a few bits of news. Splatoon sold more than 1 million, which is cool.
I saw.
Because that game is cool. Which brings me... I know we discussed Metroid a little bit. You know, the whole fan debacle.
Oh, yes.
I think it's over 60,000 petitions, signs now.
I still think that's dumb.
It is, right? And not because of the reason people think. Although I do think they are giant crybabies that should stop whinging. But, see, the way I look at it is, they're probably making this game on the 3DS, because it's 3DS hasn't got that much long to live, really. It's got 2 years until the NX comes out. And the NX is meant to encompass the Wii U and the 3DS, the console and the handheld, in some form. It's meant to be this ecosystem for everything. So, if I were Nintendo, you could not launch a new Metroid, because the Metroid games don't sell at all. Some of them have sold well. I think the highest selling one was 2.5 million, and that was 20 years ago. So it's the last few I think were around, the one on the Metroid Prime trilogy sold pretty well, but the actual new games, Other M, sold less than 1 million each time. And that was on the Wii.
Sucked.
Yeah, but that was also on the Wii, the widest sold console in existence. So you're not going to launch a new Metroid game, a mainline Metroid game, on a Wii U that has, no install base.
I guess, there's not many people that own a Wii U in terms of, the broad scale of how many people own a 8th generation console.
No, and, the Wii U isn't, it's, straddling last generation, really.
Yeah,
and not just in terms of release, but you're not going to launch a game on that size install base because it's even the people who are way into it aren't guaranteed to have a console. So it's putting this out.
I think they could easily release a Metroid game on it. I just don't like people's reaction to this Metroid game for the 3DS, where it's this isn't what I want, so I'm gonna start a petition and say you should not release this game now.
Yeah, they should be able to make whatever game they want, and if people don't like it, then don't buy it. Strongest message you can sell.
If you don't like this, vote with your wallet and don't buy the game. That's what everybody always says, but people never actually understand that means if you don't like something, don't go out and buy it.
Yeah. Don't go out and buy Destiny, but I won't stop playing it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think this game could be shit, like people think. And, that's a bad game, whatever. But if it sells well, and if it's actually a good game, which Nintendo makes some good games, I don't know if you've heard, but they don't do a lot of shit games, so this game could be not what people want, but still be fine. And I think they're kind of testing the waters almost, the next generation would be the perfect time to launch a new mainline Metroid game with the NX. Because it's that will get the hardcore fans of that on board anyway. You've got a couple more years to develop it. You will know by then whether or not this game sold and whether or not people are still interested in Metroid. Because 3DS has sold 50 million worldwide.
Isn't Nintendo still marketing towards children, which is a problem because if they go and release this new console with a Metroid game, if they're targeting children as their audience, children are not going to go out and buy a new console to play Metroids because they probably don't even know what Metroid is.
No, but it's probably...
See,
what are Retro going to make in 2 years' time? They will have released this and then have until 2017 late, I suspect, to make a game, which is the perfect time for them.
I just think that Nintendo don't understand what they're doing, and it's like the Sega thing where, how Sega with Sonic marketed towards being hip and cool and different to Nintendo's Mario.
But they're shit games, though.
Yeah, I know, but it's the reason it's shit is because they released Sonic and it was supposed to be this cool thing, this I don't know, fight against the power because he was so edgy or whatever.
Yeah.
And the people that grew up with that are now in their late 20s, early 30s, Sega are still marketing Sonic towards kids.
They have comic book series and the like.
But they're targeting their games towards the age group that the original fan base was, 15 years ago.
I guess what I'm only going to do have a Dark Sonic.
But well, they've tried that and it sucks. The problem, it's like the Nintendo thing where the people grew up with Nintendo are now in their late 20s, early 30s. They have disposable income to spend on their games.
That's optimistic.
Nintendo aren't making games for them. They're making games for children still.
But as the Wii showed us last generation, that worked extremely well, and a lot of the games were still good,
Was it though? Like the Wii had so much shovelware shit, it wasn't even funny.
Yeah, but the Nintendo games, your Super Mario Galaxies and shit, or whatever world it was, that so many of those games, they all blend into one, but people seem to like them still. I know a lot of people went hard on Skyward Sword there. The fucking Wacka-Wii remote Zelda game. But, I don't know. Retro are going to need to make a game in 2 years' time. Who cares about Donkey Kong? I mean, they probably sell better than the Metroid games at this point. But it's like, that's the two things they could do, is more Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze games, or Metroid. And if Metroid is well received on the 3DS, then it's like perfect position to relaunch the main games at the start of another generation. And at least get like some hardcore amount of people in, because they're not going to have a Bayonetta 3, are they? It's unlikely. And that was their sort of like only serious hardcore game they've had, I guess.
Come on, you're forgetting about Zombie U.
Well, Ubisoft love themselves a hardware launch.
They do, yeah, unfortunately. Isn't Zombie U coming to like PS4 and Xbox One now?
I don't know if that was confirmed or it was a rumor, but I definitely heard that. It better not be true. I mean, fuck.
I mean, you know how like Alien Isolation did cool stuff with the Kinect and the PS camera?
Yes.
Yeah, Zombie U will not do any of that.
No. Zombie U was like mechanically fucked as well, though, so it's... it's not like the gamepad was... I think the gamepad was your inventory, wasn't it?
I think so. The only thing I know about that game is if your character died, you could find them in-game with all of their inventory and kill them again and get it back, which is kind of cool.
I mean, I would pick it up for like a tenner, maybe. I think you can buy it for like £5 physical on Amazon for the Wii U right now, so maybe I should. You
can pay me £10 and I will take that game off you.
I will buy you a Wii U and the game, and then maybe you'll consider playing it.
That's very, rocky.
It's probably like the last of the great Ubisoft games, isn't it? Before they started their descent into shit.
Oh, I don't know. Ubisoft have been shit for a while now. I think that's just a testament.
Yeah. Yeah, we need to go back and play some Vegas 2. Get a copy of that game.
Well, when we go and buy Rainbow Six Siege, we will have both Rainbow Six games.
Yeah, but we have an entire summer with like 2 games coming out. We need something to fill that gap.
I'll have to go and try and find a copy of Rainbow Six Vegas 2 somewhere.
You can probably pick up like a pre-owned one covered in shit somewhere.
Yeah, I'll have to have a look downtown.
More news. Have you been following this Arkham Knight stuff?
No, I know it's fucked on PC. Like, there's lots of problems. Now, some head at Warner Brothers was on NeoGAF and was like, where, stop complaining, crybabies.
Oh god, really?
Essentially, yeah. She was like, stop complaining, it'll get fixed. If you don't like it, don't buy it. And then they took them down from Steam so you couldn't buy the game until they fixed it.
Yeah, we don't know who took it down though. We don't know if it was Steam or whether it was Warner. Yeah.
I assume it was Warner Brothers, because if you've seen just the awful reviews that game has, they probably don't want that there. Considering that series is a game that's well respected by gamers.
Or perhaps Steam were losing money through the refunds. Because we don't actually know how that works. There could be charges associated with it.
Maybe, I don't know.
But there's a lot of shit we don't know and probably will never know about how that game is so fucked. Like, it looks worse in the console versions and runs on, like... It runs okay on, like, Titans. And it's locked at 30 frames a second. It doesn't have any, like, the dynamic cloak shit that, like, the PS4 and I presume the Xbox One has. It's kind of insane. that it came out in that state in this day and age. But I mean, look at Mortal Kombat X on PC, also a Warner Brothers game, was also a hot mess. But there's been like, so 2 months ago, in the Steam database, or whatever, Iron Galaxy became associated with it, and they do a lot of port work. They have done for years, and they're like the people who did the Borderlands Vita port and shit. They also make Dive Kick, coincidentally, and 8 Iron Galaxy people are in the credits. So people have leapt to the conclusion, which may or may not be true, we'll probably never know, that like they were brought on board 2 months ago to do the PC port, because we know they were associated with the PC. That's what it's listed as in the credits. So if that's true, then it would explain why it's fucked. Perhaps.
I'm looking on Steam here. Batman Arkham Knight has had 11,575 reviews, mostly negative.
Yeah. Also, the game isn't that hot, I hear. See, I'm not going to pick it up because I haven't played the previous ones, so it would be kind of a disservice. Without that legacy. Yeah. But, like, the Batmobile apparently handles like shit, and which is surprising.
I'm looking at some of the reviews here. Even AAA developers are making early access games now. My PowerPoint presentations get frames faster than this game.
Apparently it is completely fucked if you have an AMD card as well.
Yeah, you can't play it if you have an AMD card, I've heard that.
Which is nice for me, I guess. But again, I wasn't going to pick it up anyway, but that's still super fucked. Yes, good test case for the Steam refunds, I suspect.
Yeah,
I'm trying to find more news.
I forgot about the refund thing.
There was a Persona 5 leak. I think one of that there was a bonus disc in the Persona 4 Dancing All Night in Japan. I think that's how it leaked. But Atlas have been like super tight on it and keep taking down. But I managed to catch it before it was taken down off the source I used. And it was kind of like an extended version of the other trailer they put out, with like the leaping dude through the windows and stuff.
Yeah.
Only it showed a bit of combat and that all looked cool. And apparently the voice of the protagonist, let's say, I'm going to say the protagonist, is also the voice of Lelouch from Code Geass, that amazing anime, who's also the voice of Adachi from Persona 4.
So you told me Lelouch was in Persona 5. Is it actually Lelouch?
It's the voice actor.
Oh, because I was like, holy shit, that's fucking really cool.
That would be cool too. They're doing OVAs, which I still haven't watched, and apparently they've got really good like production value. But I wanted to wait till they roll out. They need to make more of that series. It's really fucking cool. So that's cool news. He's an interesting voice actor.
When does Persona 5 come out?
Next year on the PlayStation 4. I think that's on PlayStation 3. And the only other news I have down is Destiny. Has a couple of bits of news.
Does it?
Firstly, there was that horrendous interview on Eurogamer.
Oh, yeah.
With creative director Luke Smith.
Come on, Kyle, if I showed you those emotes, you would be throwing money at the screen.
I do genuinely think that without, it's written down, obviously there's no audio or anything, and having seen interviews with that dude about Destiny, about this content, he's like he is smarmy, but in that same sarcastic way that, I am, for example. Whereas, he's got attitude. He's not, just reading shit off a bullet point. So it's I can't help but read some of those sentences and be like, if I put that in the context of I've seen his other interviews, makes perfect sense. It's just, he can't comment on fucking Activision's business practices in any way. So when he says, British currency conversion is foreign to him, what do you expect him to do? He's not going to be like, yeah, well, Activision is super fucked, so I'm going to get fired for this interview. I think the outrage over the content, as we posted on the site when it came out a week ago, or a week before this news broke, whatever, the content is super fucked, but I think he's getting more shit for that interview than maybe it deserves.
Yeah, I think people should take away from the interview how fucked up it is that people have to go out and buy the DLC that they already own in order to get the deluxe set or whatever it's called.
But also, I've heard people go on other podcasts that I get this way out of proportion and think that you have to buy the entire game again to get the new DLC, which is not true.
Well, isn't that what I guess, whatever this this expansion pack is called anyway, because it's $60.
Yeah, it is.
So aren't you? That's like nowhere near the price of what an expansion pack should be. You're essentially buying the game again with an expansion pack thrown on top.
I think it's $40 and £40, which is why the UK conversion is fucked, because that puts it at basically full price for us.
Yeah.
But I think it's $40, which is more than the other expansions, and almost the price of the game. But the problem is people will think that's for the actual DLC. You can buy the game and the DLC for $60. Or you can buy the collector's edition for $80 or $90. I don't remember which. I think it's £80, so it's probably $90. And that includes everything. So what this interview was about the dance emotes, which are in the collector's edition, which is not even all the shit that's in the collector's edition. Like, there's other collector's skins and mount skins and stuff that are in there. So I really didn't get why this interview was so head up on the emotes and not the actual content people might give a fuck about. But there you go. And so they've released, I believe, I don't know how much more it is, but I'm pretty sure they've announced that you can now get like a digital VIP edition, which includes that shit with the DLC for people who already own the game, which is nice.
Yeah.
There was a lot of confusion about that, which is not surprising because there's like 4 different versions of the game. We have an article up on the site trying to, break that shit apart a little bit. But also, do you remember the Red Bull leak from a few months ago?
Yes.
Well, that quest, which was listed on there, it is in fact exclusive for a year. So if you want that quest, you have to go out and get a Red Bull pack. Or wait a year to play it. Which seems insane, to be honest.
Super dumb. Have you seen developers take the piss out of Destiny for this?
I have seen the Dying Light cup of water, yes.
Yes, Dying Light. If you take a picture of yourself drinking some water and tag #drink for DLC, it will unlock free DLC for everybody once you reach certain milestones, which is cool.
Nice. They were also the developer, I believe, that had a version of the game where if you bought it for like $250,000, you would get a zombie-proofed home.
Yes, I remember that.
Which is super dumb. I wonder if anyone bought that.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Yeah, it's weird. I don't know. Like, I didn't... The way they did the business is bad, but also people, I think, were taking away the wrong parts of that and getting a lot of the facts confused.
Well, it's the internet. What do you expect?
Yes. I know, but these are like paid professionals, which was the worrying part. But there you go. I'm trying to think of anything else Destiny related. People should also remember that Bungie is the company that is always smarmy and sarcastic and never not. Everyone in the community posts is equally as like shit-eating. So people should probably remember that as well. It's nothing new.
But isn't this Activision and people don't like Activision?
Luke Smith's been with Bungie from Halo days. He goes way back. But yeah, like this business-ing is totally Activision, I believe. But like, even when they launched the game, you had to buy the GameStop version of Advanced Warfare to get the to get the black shader. So it's like this exclusive shit for like 4 years is not new or anything. I don't know if that's you still can't get that black shader anywhere. I don't believe, which is even more fucked. But there you go. And that's all the news I think I have. Do you have anything else?
No, I don't have anything.
Yes. I'm just trying to like dredge my phone for anything else that might be breaking, and of course it's there is nothing breaking.
Yep,
you can indeed strip and poke your Fire Emblem siblings, which is bizarre. Oh, there is. This is perhaps my favorite latest Social Justice Warriors hit-back game. There's an Indiegogo campaign for a new game called SJW Wyatt, Troops vs. Women, - in a video game, which is a game about shooting Social Justice Warriors that are bringing down the patriarchy, which is fucked.
Fuck the internet.
So if you want to go back that, find that on Indiegogo, and let me know you've backed it so I can block you from all social media, and we will see you next week.